Dan Toulson, Cian Coleman, Chris Moore, James Debayo, Charlie Allan, Charlie Crew, Sonny Perkins, Max McFadden and Luca Thomas. The bench, Alex Baird, Diogo Monteiro, Joe Richards, Joe Snowdon and Rhys Chadwick. The team's out slightly earlier than normal for kick-off, which is a welcome change. But a familiar face of sorts in the commentary box alongside me, Ross McCormack. Thank you so much for joining us. A few months since you did a game with us, and the team slightly changed, a little bit more younger than the group that you got to see, but it's that academy mantra of
I've seen a few of them play. Charlie Crew, the last time I seen him was different class for such a young age, very, very composed on the ball. I'm looking forward to watching him again. Sonny Perkins, obviously, see what sort of he's learned from being out on loan. So it's an interesting team, but I fancy the boys again tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It has been a steady few weeks for Leeds United, who will don their pink away strip tonight after a really tough few months with, of course, coaching changes and personnel changes. They then have had some decent results. A draw against Chelsea, a draw against Arsenal, and then they won their last game in this competition in the Premier League Cup 2-0 on Monday against Luton. And the best thing really for Scott Gardner's men is this is now a familiar team. This is the last few weeks that have started the same sort of squad. That's not the same sort of rhythm they've been playing in the Kuba Clan, the young right back, not giving James Debayo any chance with that throw. And early doors, Bournemouth will get a chance to build out from the back. So this is a Premier League 2 side in Leeds against a team in Bournemouth who play in the Professional Development League South. But we know that Bournemouth have had a decent academy set up in recent years. They're a bit similar to Brentford in that respect, that they don't have the Premier League 2 standing, but Brentford had success in this competition last year. So just because academy setup-wise it doesn't have the official Premier League tag does not mean that Bournemouth will not pose a serious threat. They even topped their group. We'll bring you that in a second, because Leeds were on the attack. Sonny Perkins looking for Allan, whether that was a delayed pass or an early run. Your thoughts, Ross? Should that pass have gone quicker?
Should probably have came quicker, yeah, but you'd also be looking to hold your line there as long as possible and stay on side. But yeah, positive start. What I will say is, first thing I noticed is if that is a National League, if that's a National League pitch, it looks absolutely incredible, especially for this time of year.
Yeah, it certainly does. We've had games in recent weeks that were not to be too harsh. I described some sections of Bramwell Lane as a beach when Leeds' under-18s played there a couple of weeks ago, and an early scrapping affair. Leeds get the better of it. Good to see Chris Moore back at centre-half, his more regular position. Did have a recent spell at right-back, of course, but back at the heart of defence up to Perkins, who we hope has got that confidence back after getting the goal against Luton. And he wins his team an early throw inside the first couple of minutes. Decent crowd, of course, for the section of the stadium being filmed. It is deserted, but of course you've just seen it was a decent turnout for this game. Bournemouth topping Group C, 5 wins from 6 matches. Leeds beat Colchester both home and away, same for Luton, and got a draw against Chelsea as they finished second in Group D. An early touch for pretty much everybody on the pitch, Ross. Nobody really settling into this game and taking control, and it's making for, well, frantic's not the word, but energetic, I guess.
Yeah, just feeling each other out, aren't they? It'll probably take 5-10 minutes to settle down and both teams get into their stride, but as I said, I think Leeds will be happy with that, going away from home, long journey down, just feel their way into the game. I think they'll be happy with the start.
Yeah, in Ross's last game with us, he was quick to point out one of the flags behind one of the goals, and there is another set of Leeds fans that have made the trip wherever they've come from in the country to try and support the boys in this quest to try and reach the last 8.
They get everywhere, don't they? Fantastic.
Certainly do. There's, of course, some that might be trying to stay down on the south coast and head across to Plymouth. Leeds might as well have been relocated on the south coast the last few weeks. Such is the mileage that some of our fans and the players and our colleagues have had to make. And Leeds, inside the first 4 minutes, yet to get a foothold in this game. And of course, not having to play against each other on a regular basis will maybe make this feeling out process a little longer. Bournemouth in possession right through the heart of that Leeds midfield. Ball whipped across, all the way across the goal. Cline, I think, expected that to go out, but keeping it in was Noah Boutin, and he's gone past Cline, who I don't think he intended to bring him to ground, but once he'd already committed, it was an easy free kick for the referee to give, Ross.
I think he just fell over there, but it's a dangerous position in it. Leeds will probably, I would imagine, just set up as a corner here. But it's
pretty much
dangerous position. Probably the first half chance that anyone's had in the game.
Taking set piece, or at least suggesting he will be Kean Tydeman. Getting help is from his captain Dominic Sadi, the skipper in the number 8 jersey. Tydeman has responsibility on his own. The only player in the wall is Allan. Taken short, Allan tries to pounce, gets a touch to it, but Bournemouth get it back. Diving in, allows Bournemouth to pick their spot. Allan recovers. Both teams appeal, but another corner. Leeds dealt with it relatively easily enough, but on another occasion, Ross, they could have counter-attacked there. Yeah,
do you know what? Allan done quite well there, because I thought he was just arriving late there when it got cut back. I was thinking, do not dangle your leg. You can see it here. I'm thinking, oh, but he actually does well. Gets back in as well and blocks the shot. So, well done there.
So taking the next set piece is Tydeman, who has the opportunity to test Leeds with a direct ball in. Went short last time. Plenty of loft on that ball towards the far post, and Leeds will get the chance to clear as the Cherries win it straight back there. They're on the case, try to cut the ball back. A touch from Debayo. It falls into midfield, now out towards the centre forward Pollock. A cut back. Leeds can't clear at first. Toulson just about gets it away. This is easily the best spur of the match for either side. Bournemouth settling for a throw.
Looking dangerous here, aren't they, Bournemouth? I think Leeds just have to weather the initial storm and get through it, gather themselves and come again. But yeah, they look as if they're a decent side, Bournemouth.
Yeah, forward to Perkins. He will carry it forward. No options out to the right. Just slows it down, Perkins, instead. Just gives everybody in Leeds' colours a chance to get into their shape. And with a two-man attack without the ball, Bournemouth in the number 9 and 10 in Pollock and Stuttle. And there is Crew out to Toulson, the under-18s left-back, centre-half, and if you want him to be a holding midfielder, which is where he came into this team a few weeks ago, and he is one of several 18s players that have pushed up in the last few weeks. Cline, Dan Toulson, James Debayo, legitimately still an 18s recent recruits. He came up from the group last season. Of course, Charlie Crew has still been able to play for the 18s in the Youth Cup, such as the age that he's playing at, yet he's played in the 21s all year. And Max McFadden, the number 10 from the 18s as well. So that is the level of responsibility on this young group's shoulders. Tells you as well, Ross, that there's been a lot of change, but to have 5 or 6 players, I didn't really consider Luca Thomas in that, but he was the 18 striker last year, but we've seen him all year this year. Pretty much half your team is 18s.
Yeah, but as I say, it's good experience for these kids. Travelling away, going to
yeah, chance just to break off because they're in behind here, Bournemouth. Cut back is on, picking the spot into the far corner and doing well is Baird Landa. Bournemouth, last couple of minutes, Ross has said it himself, looking dangerous. There's our answer. Bournemouth 1, Leeds 0.
Yeah, that's a fantastic through ball there up the up the inside of, I think it was in between our full-back and centre-half, but yeah, that's a great ball there. Not really, I don't really think there's much that we can do there, but you've got to give credit. That's a great
good finish, yeah. They often say that sometimes some strikers, not all, act on instincts. Others prefer time. He had all the time he wanted to just quite literally pick his spot in the goal and then to execute it, but did it at still a very quick speed. And a couple of passes later, and Bournemouth are in the lead, and ideal for the home side. And when you're a long way from home and they're away side, Leeds have got to metaphorically roll up their sleeves. Big 10 minutes coming up.
Yeah, roll up their sleeves, show a bit of metal here. Yeah, not a great start, but not the end of the world.
No, certainly not with the 21s. We've seen over the years high scorelines galore, which from a defensive perspective, far from ideal, but normally in with the fight if they can keep themselves composed. This is a group that have enjoyed that occasion. They were trailing every time against Chelsea in a 3-3 draw just a couple of weeks ago. So there is plenty of fight in this group. As you say, Ross, it wasn't as if the goal wasn't a classy team move from Bournemouth, who try and play it out from the back. The Leeds press at least wins possession, but Scott Gardner's side, 10 minutes in, there hasn't been any momentum, has there? There's been no foothold to have. There's been not a team move to break off from. We might get that changing here as Allan gets it on the right, looking for Perkins. It's a good ball as well. Perkins had a go at it, just not long enough though. It's the right leg, toe poke to the ball. But what a pass from Charlie Allan. I think he's unlucky, and it's a good response at least.
Yeah, great pass. It's one thing to see it, it's another being able to play it. I don't know, maybe if it just skids too far in front of Sonny there, but yeah, that's a great pass, that. Great run. Yeah, he should. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed there. Maybe get better contact on the ball, but it's a good sign at least from the lads.
Yeah, frustrating for Leeds and Perkins, but a response all the same. James Debayo has just bundled the number 10 to the ground in Ewan Pollock, and they have a free kick in a central position which Leeds will have to deal with the wall and then perhaps put everybody behind the ball, which they are doing. Perkins and Thomas, not really a walled effort. Thomas might stand his ground. Charlie Cruz looking over the left shoulder just in case they go wide. And Bournemouth looking rather organised, all the players talking to each other alongside each other. They do try and take it short. Crew covered that though, so Bournemouth relatively happy there to keep possession and work Leeds across the pitch.
Seems to be the Premier League way that now, doesn't it? No one really puts the ball into the box.
Yeah, and as well with the Bournemouth set-up academy-wise, with the way that the first team is playing, we'll have that ethos to play football on the deck and try and play the new modern way, which they've done so far. Allan just about gets away from the left leg. Debayo perhaps a little fortunate that the number 9, Johnny Stuttle, couldn't get to it, so Boutin and Stuttle causing James Debayo a few headaches. Leeds building out from the back once more. They have done Toulson in possession. He needed a bit more help, couldn't go down the line to pick out Thomas. Deflection helps Bournemouth out, and they are the team setting the tempo, setting the standard on the ball. There hasn't been that much of a response defensively so far from Leeds with pressurising. Maybe try to lure Bournemouth in and make a mistake as Crew gets to the ball and gives it away. And out for a throw. Debayo and more cover, and it's back into Christy as he rolls across to Debayo. Leeds are more than happy to play it out from the back, but not really getting anywhere with it. And to Toulson again, it's Bournemouth are quite happy that he gets the ball. And apologies for the stuttering pictures tonight coming from the south coast. As Chris Moore clears down the line looking for Perkins. Thomas is also chasing this down. But we have a familiar sort of pattern building into this game. Leeds, just for now, can't get out from their own back four, struggling to keep possession. And it is Bournemouth that are gliding forward like they do here. And Leeds going 2-0 down would be a disastrous start. The way this game is panning out, up towards Perkins to try and intercept, but Bournemouth are looking so confident, Ross, just gliding across the park. Touches are sharp. This is a team that have, rightfully won their group. 5 wins from 6 tells you that, and if we're going to get a result tonight, this is going to be some battle. Thomas, Perkins peeling away down the left, both of them left-footed, know each other's games and preferred routes for a pass, but main thing I've noticed from Leeds' attack, it's been very much defensive first. There's been no blistering ability to go down the flank and have a go.
Yeah, it's a little bit. The game's sort of settling into the same pattern as the last time I watched the boys when they were away to Tottenham, in terms of sitting back and either they're looking to counter-attack or that's what they feel the only thing that they can do right now. But the difference, like you said, is the speed of the counter-attacks. I think against Tottenham they created quite a few chances on the turnovers, whereas here it's more if they get it back, just try and, like you said, safety first, don't go for it. But I think the more possession and chances Bournemouth have.
Yes, that's a shot coming in from Allan. Sorry to put in there, Ross. Easy save?
Yeah, just as I was saying there, I think the more chances and possession Bournemouth have, that will probably have to change. Leeds will have to start showing their teeth a little bit, like they have just done there. That was unlucky.
It's not a bad effort, is it, to say that's the first shot for Leeds on the target, as Allan at least stung the palms of the goalkeeper. Out towards the right-hand side this time for Tonks. He nearly gets caught in possession, but he's looked one of the most composed players out there in Bournemouth colours, the right back.
I think they all look as if they can play, don't they?
Yeah.
All can handle the ball. They're quite easy, quite happy to take it with a man up their back, wherever on the pitch.
Yeah, this has been an impressive start from them as they try and get the centre forward involved, even though he was falling back onto the floor. He was still kicking out, trying to win it back as Coleman just wrestled away the pressure out towards Thomas. It'll be awkward to control, but he's done just that. Into McFadden. Leeds will love to try and get an attack going themselves here, or at least a couple in succession. Crew just trying to guide his team around the park. Out to Thomas. Overlapping run from Toulson. Ignored though. Perkins went for it. Glanced off his head. And it's away from danger. I know we're feeding off scraps here, Ross, but that's 2 attacks in a few minutes as Crew gives away a free kick. And when you are behind, sometimes that's all you need to get that confidence level back. Yeah,
sometimes in games it takes you 10-15 minutes to sort of get into the rhythm of it, and I think there's been signs that Leeds are starting to, I wouldn't say wake up. I don't think they were, sloppy in the first period, just Bournemouth started better. But there's been some good signs in the last few minutes. That one there, I think it was maybe just a little bit too high for Perkins, but again, it's a good sign we're getting balls into the box.
Coming straight to the heart of Leeds' midfield again. Coleman is trying to stop that. Moore comes across, gets a toe to the ball, and the charging run from Pollock is eventually stopped. And not for the first time, Bournemouth are switching it up with quite a direct pass through the middle. McFadden wanted one in that scenario, but the hard work of Landa, the goal scorer, stops that.
I think for the fans at home, I think they'll be quite happy in the sense that it seems as if it's going to be quite an open game.
Yeah, in terms of chances,
maybe obviously not the result, but
yeah, it's a chance. 17 minutes in, we've had a couple of chances for our Leeds have had. Perkins was a good chance at least.
Yeah.
Allan's had that shot. Bournemouth, in theory, could have had a couple more efforts that tested Harry Christy, and as you say, it's been played in. If you're a neutral, or at least wanting to watch an excitable game of football on a Friday night, this is certainly the case. As Crew gets beaten by his fellow number 8, Dominic Sadi, who's prodded it through. Cline comes across, does well. And another player that's really impressed in the last few weeks, under 18s right back, just steps across the number 7 in Tydeman and kills any threat of a goal.
I think as a fan as well, you don't want to. I think a lot of these, some of these games, teams can cancel each other out and all, cancel each other out. So I think a game like this gives these young boys a better opportunity to showcase their talents, and that's what I would like to see more of. I think so cagey some of these games. Young boys don't want to make mistakes, but you've got to make mistakes to learn. That's how you get better.
Yeah, it is the unfortunate way for some of these youngsters, but these players have made plenty this year and then recovered in the same game or the week after. And especially with the under 18s coming up and a level above, they've had to learn on the job very quickly and done so successfully. Leeds are sitting 21st in the PL2 table of 26, but they do have a few games in hand that could easily propel them up. Bournemouth are 4th in their league, only 1 point behind the leaders with a game in hand. That's Queen's Park Rangers. And they are almost playing with that, not a swagger or an arrogance, but almost like we deserve to be here. The way the competition works, whoever tops the group gets a home tie. So they knew this game was coming on home soil, and they seem to be actually relishing the occasion. You know, they're not overawed by it at all.
No, I think they've been looking forward to it. They probably know Leeds coming down will be a little bit of an open game. Leeds will have a go, so they'll fancy it. But then on the other hand, Leeds will as well. It's an opportunity for them. You know, especially when the game's on Leeds United TV, it's a chance to show the fans what they can do.
Yeah, ball in. Cline made an error in possession. Crew gets back. Awkward for Coleman to deal with. He actually does quite well as Crew gets back on the ball now, and after a rather frantic touch, he shows what Charlie Crew does, but then puts Cline under pressure. But that's the way it is. He's not even getting a second to breathe. Nobody is. And I've been quite impressed by Landa's pressurising off the left edge. And again, just when Leeds think he's asleep, he nips back inside and takes the ball from them. And Cline to Perkins, puts the pressure on. Cline gets dispossessed, and he will now have work to do to get past Landa, but Landa's got away. Debayo trying to get to him now. Ball comes across. Christy makes an important save. Still not fully clear. Tydeman cuts it back. Shot comes in over the top, thankfully, of Harry Christie's goal, and arguably could have been 2-0 and maybe should have been.
Yeah, there's a good chance there. I think it all comes from the throw-in, doesn't it? We need a striker there to keep a hold of it and sort of not give it away there, because you see what can happen. It was actually a really good chance, like you said. Should do better. It's only 7 yards out.
Into McFadden, who's not really had much chance to feature tonight. He's a willing runner from midfield. That ball not strong enough from Crew to Thomas, so Bournemouth get it back. Sign of a good team that Leeds' pass is only slightly under hit, but any error from Leeds has been pounced upon immediately by Bournemouth. Nearly at the halfway point of this first half. Another 1-2 gets them on their way with Tonks. Dangerous ball in. Harry Christy catches and clears the danger with that catch. Keeps it nice and simple. But again, just when Leeds get possession here, looking down the line, first thought is I have to go backwards, and that is mainly down to Bournemouth's work defensively, as Cline is able to ride that challenge. He actually concedes the throw, but been a tough few minutes for him because Bournemouth have been all over Leeds down both flanks. But yeah, just naturally Leeds are looking up. You can see the players' heads lift, and then they go no option, turn sideways, and that's, you know, the way that Bournemouth are working. Yeah,
they're working tremendously hard off the ball. There doesn't seem to really be a sort of get out for Leeds, but I think the messages probably from the side and on the pitch will be for the striker or the number 10, whoever it is, to try and stretch the play running behind. There's no, you know, it's going to be hard if the two of them keep coming to feet all night. Bournemouth will enjoy that.
Yeah, Sadi's done well. So have Bournemouth. In they go towards goal. Great feet. Cline can help Leeds out, and he does. Bournemouth will feel they deserved the goal there. It was Sadi that tried the little flick. Got away with from Leeds' players. It was some nifty footwork. Then got the ball across towards his number 10 in Pollock. He then found Stuttle. Even he showed some composure, but I think Christy got the slightest of touches to it, which forced them wide, and Cline gets across. And good to see from both aspects, Ross. It was desperate defending from Leeds, but a bit of flamboyancy from Bournemouth.
Yeah, a bit desperate there from Leeds, but I think Cuba does really well to stay alert. A lot of people would have switched off there, and when he goes round the goalkeeper, it's an easy tap in, but he does fantastic to get back in.
Yeah, taking the set piece is Tydeman. Goes all the way to the far post. Chris Moore watching it all the way, deals with it. Leeds might have a chance to counter. Perkins will need to be strong here. Runs into traffic, frustrated. Allan was the only one up there alongside him. And another fine margin moment for Leeds there. They cleared the original set piece and did have Bournemouth panicking a little, but not to be, as, again, the game sets back into that familiar pattern. Bournemouth sitting with the ball at the back foot. Risky pass. Thomas at least for a second thought he could get to it. Not the case. Cline wins the ball, brings it under control, and again will be frustrated, but can't let these 50-50s get the better of him. He brought the ball down well there. He just got a little unlucky that again the Bournemouth man got across.
I think for me he looks like one Cuba Cline. You know, he looks a strong young lad. You think some of the problems that we've had with fullbacks as well. I think you know, if he keeps his head down, keeps working hard, keeps playing the way he is, like you said, he's been very good the last few weeks. So I'm pretty sure in his head he won't want to admit it, but he might see a pathway at some point through to the first team. He looks very comfortable, confident lad.
Yeah, especially, you know, to come in from the 18s and then be thrown into the 21s, and then not only, you know, be it for one game, stay there the last couple of weeks. It shows that progression, and we've had Harvey Sutcliffe in him around the team the last few weeks. He had an ACL injury last year, and he was at left back last week, right back normally by trade. As Leeds get it to Allan, McFadden making a run just a bit further forward, forced a little wide, so his main idea is to then try and put it back in the box. Smart player, Ross. He was running away from goal. Yeah,
I think Allan's the one for me. The sooner you get the ball to him, then, you know, the more chance that he'll have of doing something.
Quickly taken. Allan was the one trying to cross the ball in. Out to Toulson. He digs it out of the turf back to McFadden. Past Crew into Allan again. Wanting to get across, nearly having three players to mark him to the far post. Moore heads it back in. Nobody there. There was two people there. It just wasn't the intended plan, I don't think, for Chris. As a centre-half, he's just trying to put it back into an area, isn't he, Ross? There was not an idea of him picking out a certain shirt, and that's unfortunate for Leeds.
Yeah, unfortunate. You see our boys just going under the ball there when it gets headed back across, but like we said, Allan again, just checking on his left foot, putting a good cross in. I think any game I've watched, he's been the one attacking wise who you would...
Yeah, big chance for a penalty here. Allan goes to ground, referee looks across, and is he giving the goal kick? I think he is. Whether Allan kicked the floor there, but the defender come across. Allan, I mean, he's not going mental, but he's certainly asking the question, so he beats him for pace.
There's no reason for him to go down there.
I tell you what, the left back, Noah Boutin's leg comes across. That's harder to not give than give. I know we're biased, but looking at that replay, his leg definitely comes back across.
Yeah, you don't even have to be biased to notice that. It seems to be every game I watch now these days that there's one or two decisions where you're in sheer disbelief. That's one of them. It's a Stonewall penalty.
Yeah, I think Allan's done relatively well just to be quite calm in his asking of it. He had every right. That looked a certain penalty. I thought maybe at first he might have kicked the ground, but second viewing, even worse, as Crew to Perkins gets away from the defender with his touch. It's a little bit better from Leeds. They're starting to pen Bournemouth in. Allan across, keeper punches. Perkins went for it. It might even fall to Thomas. Will take a touch. Sends the keeper to the ground. Thomas finishes. No! Just past the post. Deflected wide. Bournemouth celebrate as if they've scored a goal themselves. And while we're a little bit unlucky, the last few minutes, Ross, have been Leeds certainly on the attack and improving.
Yeah, I think, and as we spoke about obviously before with Allan on the ball, Leeds seem to be getting him on the ball a little bit more now, which creates a bit of havoc in the Bournemouth defence. But that was very unlucky there. Deflection took it out of harm's way.
Yeah, unfortunate that the official got an issue with something in the box, so the linesman is just standing in the path of Charlie Crew to take this latest corner. That should be all good as we nearly approach the half-hour mark. Goal from Landa of Bournemouth. The difference between the two teams for now as Debayo goes in. Bournemouth appealing for a free kick, not heard by the official. Allan back to Coleman, and Coleman again through the heart. More suggesting to Dan Toulson when this ball should go. He tries to put it into that area, not the intended target you would expect to see in Cline at right back, but he was up for the corner, and again just his presence panicked the Bournemouth defence.
Yeah, and I think the boys should take huge belief from this. I think when Bournemouth are...
Yeah, just break off, because I thought Crew was going to get to that. Yeah, I won't say they're panicking, are they? But we've seen a bit of vulnerability. Not
panicking, a little bit shaky though, which it doesn't matter how good the teams are at this age group. They all will be. They're all learning their trade. So
yeah, it's Perkins from Crew. Perkins just growing into the game a little bit more. Toulson back to the Leeds number 9. Trying to take them on. He had options with Thomas out wide, but he fancied the go himself as Cline nips in. Good challenge. McFadden heading it on. It's broken down for Leeds. This might allow Bournemouth to attack, but like Leeds were doing in the first 15-20 minutes, they go back for safety first time for a long time.
That's it, just take the sting out of it. They obviously realise that Leeds are starting to press a little bit higher, get on the ball more, look a bit more of a threat. So, you know, their instructions from the side will be to take the sting out of it.
Allan's pass intended for Perkins, miss-hit, so falls into Bournemouth's pass, and here is Landa, the goal scorer. Beat Cline the first time, but Cline wrestles back to get goal side, helped out by Allan, who, as you pointed out, Ross, he's growing into the game, and no surprise, Leeds are improving as a result. Here's Thomas, takes it in his stride, goes for goal! Not for the first time tonight, whips it past the post. And if he's playing and playing well, like he is, this is his normal position. He's a number 9 by trade. He looked like it there, Ross, as well. The instinct was, from the very first minute he touched that ball, we all knew what was happening.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he knew exactly what he was doing there. He's just trying to whip it back across his body into that corner, and it looks from here as if he's a couple of inches out.
You know, unfortunate. And him dropping in is almost like a second striker when it's narrow. Could certainly help Leeds out. It's not as perhaps traditional. He wasn't hugging the touchline like he has been. And certainly, Scott Gardner and his team will at least know that their side are up for the fight. That's the most important thing as Bournemouth come forward now with Finn Tonks. Out to Tydeman. Back to Tonks, the right back. And in towards Sadi in the captain's jersey, the number 8, who's looked pretty dangerous. Leeds can't allow him to come forward with nobody closing him down. And the shot hits the roof of the net. And so far we've seen, I think, is it in the modern game, is it a Marseille turn he did earlier? Which, I don't know what it's called, you might have a different name for it, but we've seen the tricks, we've seen the shots. I don't want to see a third go, do we?
No, he looks like a useful young player, doesn't he? That was actually, when I was hitting it, I thought that looks really speculative, but it didn't half dip, it wasn't far away.
Yeah, it certainly was another warning sign for Leeds as Cline gets it forward. McFadden run into traffic, so did Perkins.
But this is all about belief now for Leeds. They've got to, over the last 5-7 minutes, realise that they're good enough to go and compete here and go and take the game to them, because they've shown when they do attack and they do commit bodies and do commit to what they're actually trying to do, that they're good enough.
It must be such a confidence boosting feeling that for this group, because, I say, on the road, losing inside the first 10 minutes, maybe felt this could be a long night as Bournemouth come forward, work the 1-2, shooting opportunity. Christy gets down, 2 Leeds defenders go for the same ball, but in doing so, they're then there again to help out. Allan tries to release a quick counter. Bournemouth have it covered defensively, and that pass rushed as Toulson goes down the line, and Leeds perhaps could have kept hold of that. Thomas will chase it down, and I mean, I've been quite impressed by a few of the Bournemouth players, but especially at the back when they've got the ball, there's no sign of any panic. And Harry Christy will play a big role tonight. He always has done this year. But, by the way, another important save, Ross.
Yeah, good save. But I think, just going back to what you're speaking about there, the centre halves, how they look very composed on the ball. I think there's probably a chance or two there for Leeds if they time the press right and show them down one side. They might be able to nick it.
Yeah, Leeds tried to nick it there, but under pressure they've given up some space, which will be taken forward, and a poor pass from Finn Tonks. Now Leeds, because Bournemouth have committed, will have a better space themselves. Allan pings it out towards Thomas. Perkins being pulled back. Thomas will want to play the cut back. Can he time it to perfection? Perkins gets it, can't get out of his feet. Bournemouth cover very, very well, but only as far as Allan. Allan decides to shoot, never had the space as McFadden wanted the run from Crewe. And Leeds unable to counter with much gusto and conviction. But, I mean, you mentioned it in a different way, really. Centre-backs giving the ball and trying to find a bit of space. It was a bit different for Leeds because it was Bournemouth putting too many bodies forward. A great pass from Allan will break off because Bournemouth are on the attack with Ewan Pollock, who has not for the first time showed he can carry the ball with real purpose. He wanted to win his side of throw, but didn't. But that pass from Charlie Allan was inch perfect, which set the move away. We'll get your thoughts in a second because we've got this end-to-end game you thought we'd have, Ross, with Perkins looking across. Here is Allan taking it in his stride, turns past the defender, not one but two, And again, goes to ground, the same defender. Allan looks across, no penalty. Difficult angle compared to the first one we saw, but, you know, I always do say with an attacker, why would they go to ground? He turned him twice. Debayo puts it in. This game is end-to-end. We've got chances to speak about both, but mainly your thoughts on this here.
Well, my thoughts are that if he's not going to get the first one, I think he'll be wasting his breath complaining about that. But again, like you say, though, there's lots of chances. It's an open game. I keep saying it every time I come and watch these young boys that they're good enough. They just need to believe that they're good enough, and I think they're starting to. I said it before when I said wake up. I didn't mean wake up, but just sort of rise to the challenge now. They realise that they're good enough to be here.
Yeah, it's a confidence booster for sure as Debayo, not for the first time, bundles down the number 10 to the ground, and this time it is worthy of a yellow card. And I think Leeds' perspective will feel that that's 2 penalty appeals that they've not had heard, and then it's from behind, it's a push. I get why it's being given. But when you're losing and you start to feel like things are going against you, Charlie Allan as well is not somebody that will keep his opinion to himself. He's a very passionate young man. And I think as the referee puts the spray down, he'll be voicing those opinions to the official. No complaints though with the yellow card then.
Not with the foul. I think the yellow card's a little bit soft. I mean, it didn't look as if there was a massive push. There was a push, but I think a yellow card at this. Yeah, a little bit disappointed in the yellow card, but no problem at all with the foul.
Here's a foul where maybe Bournemouth will actually put a ball into the box. They do with Tydeman headed away by Moore. Coleman is having his head pushed over his shoulders, but he managed to get a touch, and Bournemouth will recover. Leeds are not actually that bothered about the attacking with the press, so we'll actually sit back and just take a moment to breathe. In fairness to Bournemouth, they're waiting for them to come out themselves as they go all the way back, and with a 1-goal cushion with 10 minutes left, they've got that luxury. Not for the first time, the number 3, Noah Boutin, scores Leeds an issue. He's a very powerful runner. The longer he stays on the pitch, the worse it is for Leeds as Coleman gets back and concedes a corner. But we mentioned the stature of Cline. He's equally as powerful and got the skills to match. And it's not going our way at the minute, which doesn't mean it will be staying that for the 90. But it's been a decent watch. There's some impressive Bournemouth players out there.
There is, yeah. I think we're sitting here thinking, when the goalkeepers get the ball, if they can time the pressing that properly against the defenders, they might nick one. But keeper's just played a 50-yard diagonal to his feet.
Yeah, it'll take some drop off in quality as the ball gets across. Moore wins the header. I think it's his 3rd in a row from a defensive clearance perspective. Allan will certainly back himself as the quickest player on the pitch. He needed every yard of that speed to get there. And now he goes with a lofted pass up to Perkins. The wind conditions has maybe helped him out, but Bournemouth, although they looked a little bit worried, have got away with it. As Coleman will have to dig in here to try and stop Sadi from getting the ball, and he has done so, and he's won his side a free kick. And this is where Coleman, the rest of that Leeds midfield, need to try and become quite annoying nuisances, taking quick free kicks, getting the Bournemouth players in trouble. Anything really was to stop the home side feeling comfortable.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You see Allan there. He's wanting a runner down the channel, isn't he? It wasn't on. They've got to go back.
It's been a facet of this Leeds game, going back, trying to build. They're more than happy to do it, but I do wonder if Bournemouth are fussed by this, and with 8 minutes left, will Leeds have to try and switch it up. I think the coaching staff will also look at the scoreline and think this is a game that's more than winnable. It will go all the way to extra time and penalties tonight, should we have that issue. And Debayo coming away, advantage given. Debayo then tries to ping the pass. Right idea, but overhit. Had Ben Parker been doing the game with me tonight, I would have thought Ross penalties and extra time were guaranteed. He's done 2 out of 2 so far, but with Ross we might get an earlier night. Debayo's pass there, from a striker's perspective, it was nearly perfect. Pinged in. Had it been weighted better, McFadden was taking 1 touch. Debayo might do well to stay on the pitch at this rate, though, because every time he makes a challenge against his striker, the referee gives a free kick.
Yeah, and half of them, half the fouls that he's gave away is just a little. I wouldn't even really call it a push or a barge or anything, but the referee, he wants to make his mind up, I think. But yeah, I think everyone will be hoping that it doesn't go all the way and you don't need extra time and penalties. But I'm sure if the game goes any longer like this, longer it gets 1-0. I think everyone would take it if it meant getting through.
Yeah, young bench tonight for Leeds. The only senior players, Snowdon and Monteiro. The rest are 18s jumping up a level. Most impressive of those has been Chadwick of recent weeks, as again Boutin gets across. Debayo flicks it away out towards Sadi. 1-2 with Landa. Again, the tricks are coming out from him. McFadden gets back, but it'll fall. Shots coming in. Christy had it covered, but he had to make the dive. Johnny Stuttle whipping it past the near post, and it is starting to see patterns forming the number 8 when he's got the ball, just making things happen with the flicks and the twists. It's a touch fortunate that it fell back to the 9, but you have to make your own luck, Ross.
That's it. Yeah, he's shown a huge amount of confidence as well. I think he likes that particular trick, doesn't he? He's done that a couple of times now, but he looks a very good prospect.
Toulson, as a centre half or a midfielder, has got that passing ability. He uses it there to go wide to Cline, back to Perkins. Down the line to Allan. Allan again goes early to McFadden. In behind, McFadden looks across, turns past his man. Allan's asking for it. Perkins is there instead, and Leeds United work the move perfectly well. Perkins gets 2 in 2. But Allan, one of the main architects, down the line early. That's what you've been asking for it, Ross. Into the channel, stretch this defence, and we have a goal 5 minutes from the end of the first half.
Yeah, firstly, what a finish. But like I said, maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago, this is exactly what Allan was looking for earlier on, but no one made the run. But that's fantastic. Composure to cut back in and puts it on a plate, really, for Perkins. He can't. Well, it's not an easy chance, but he'll probably feel that he shouldn't be missing that. But what a finish!
Yeah, he just took it in his stride. He is very left-footed, Sonny Perkins. Loves the ability to twist defenders, but on that occasion there was no time to take a touch and get it more familiar. Onto his right foot, all in one fluid movement, and 2 in 2. And yeah, delighted for him. Just hope it's a sign of a good few weeks and the end of the season. A low move that didn't really work out, and leading this 21s group, one of the elder statesmen despite him being 20. But very important moment. Great timing as well, Ross. 5 minutes from the end, Bournemouth have had a couple of chances in the last few minutes to extend their lead, and all of a sudden Leeds get back, as here's McFadden. Perkins got a slight touch to it. McFadden's going to take it on his own. Twists. Great body movement from McFadden. Goes for it. Thomas was on the other side. His crew tries to get there. He's pushed to the ground. Referee will give the free kick, and Sadi's disappointed. Leeds rather cleverly take it quickly. Thomas looking into the area, mishits the cross. But it's Bournemouth's turn to play hot potato at the back and panic a little bit and have the tables have turned. Not to say it'll stay this way, but it's another free kick coming. Yeah, the forwards played a blinder up there, number 10 and number 9. Every chance they've won a free kick. It's been perfect tactics. Yeah.
I think Leeds probably don't want to get greedy before half time. Probably looking at it on the pitch, thinking, these are here to go and attack, but don't get greedy. Just it's a good result at half time. This getting it 1-1, and then I'm sure the manager's instructions at half time will be, you've now seen what can happen when you believe in yourselves.
Yeah, as you said earlier as well, players asking for certain things. Once you follow through, as Sadi wins the ball back according to the referee, Allan clearly got the message across that he wanted a forward runner. He gets it. His crew goes to Toulson. Bournemouth, to their credit, are fighting tooth and nail to get themselves back in front. Very important at 1 apiece that Leeds get that half-time team talk, though.
I like Max McFadden as well.
As the game's gone on a bit.
Yeah, he's grown into it. If you can get him in them pockets, behind the midfield, he'll always be looking to create something. I think he's a bigger influence as the matches wore on here.
Yeah, he's played for the 18s when we first started covering them in the youth cups. He was playing as a winger. transitioned into number 10 as Cline had his ankle tripped. No spotting from the officials. You could tell that when he limped as he got up, but he, rather than moan about it, decides to put the number 10 on the deck. And he's had a tough first half because both fullbacks have. He's probably felt the most of it because they've doubled him up, but there's been no sign of any quit on him. And I think from a Leeds perspective as a fan, he's just been fouled. And yet he's thought, right, well, I'll just go make amends. And it's the attitude you want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an angry tackle, that. There was a bit of spite in it because he knows fine well it was a foul. But no, it's just sort of Leeds attitude, and it just never say die. I'm sure the fans will be appreciating that.
He was to concede a corner, which Tydeman will take. Chris Moore again wins the header. He isn't fully clear though. Thomas flicks on. Perkins gets a better clearance, but it won't clear halfway. Leeds will have to push out to relieve the pressure. Bournemouth set pieces have at least put Leeds on the back foot. They've dealt with them, but deliveries have been relatively consistent. Husband didn't seem to know fully what that decision was, but Bournemouth get it. We have less than 30 seconds left of this first half. And hopefully we are staying at this scoreline at the very worst. As Bournemouth again grow cross-field up towards Debayo for him to defend. Coleman's flick-on header intercepted. Tydeman's ball forward. Moore, the road, the challenge. Touch too heavy from Pollock, and shows an error in his work for the first time when running freely. As Debayo gets hold and the 3 minutes of stoppage time signalled at the Silverlake Stadium, the home of Eastleigh FC. Here is McFadden again. Referee has to show the feet. And the referee essentially got in the way without touching it, and he's put Leeds under pressure as it's up towards the centre forward, and a missed kick, an important one for Leeds, and that would have been frustration. McFadden's just turned to the referee to ask for a bit of sympathy, and one of those things, when you watch as much football as we do, you've played it. The referee's disrupted him, but by the letters of the law, he doesn't actually touch it.
Yeah, he's not actually touched it, but you could see it coming there as soon as he took that sort of half extra touch. I knew the referee was going to get in the way, but he's not been our friend in the first half, has he?
No, it has been a little bit tough, as you say. It has been a tough 45 minutes, but Leeds arguably should have had at least one penalty that looked as blatant as you're going to get when Allan was fouled. And there was another appeal for Allan again, so been quite positive about Noah Boutin, the left back of Bournemouth, going forward. Defensively, he's arguably conceded 2 penalties. As here is Crew, picks the pocket, gets McFadden on the way. Here's Allan. Thomas asking for it on the left wing. Allan picks the pass. It's allowing him to attack in stride. Perkins going far post. Thomas gets the cross wrong. Clearly, I think he was trying to go for power, whether that was to Perkins at the far post. Whatever happens, he's got it wrong, but not for the first time. An Allan left-footed pass across to Thomas has carved open this defence. That's the positive we should probably build on.
Yeah, not for the first time. He's found himself in that sort of inside left channel there with, a decent chance to square it. But like you say, he just gets it horribly wrong. Overhits it, probably gets underneath it, but it just all feeds into everything that we've been saying first half, and that it's there for them.
What I would say as well is I think Bournemouth have defended those quite well. The number 6 has stayed skin tight to Perkins. I know we should have done better there, but it's not as if they're giving up an early cross, is it?
No.
Number 6 in particular has been Archie Harris, who has not allowed Perkins a moment to breathe when it comes to those crosses. He did for the McFadden goal as the referee ends proceedings a little early, but as you say, Ross, positives are there. You've been saying it all half. The belief, if they can believe in themselves, there's a chance here to go and win this. As Chris Moore, I think he's going to ask about the penalty appeal at the other end. Leeds will feel they should have had at least one, but they do have a 1-1 scoreline. Perkins cancelling out Landa's opener. Join us around 10 or 15 minutes time for second half coverage. Welcome back then to LUTV's coverage of this Premier League Cup. It's the round of 16. And back on the pitch, ready for this second half, one apiece. Back underway then, as Bournemouth go with what can only be described as perhaps a rugby union kick-off routine, with a scoop up in the air from Dominic Sadi, and then a rush forward. Leeds dealt with it. Myself, Tom Hill and Ross McCormack will bring you all the action for the rest of this game, for however long it lasts. We hope we're done in the next 45 with a relatively easy Leeds win, but the way this first 45 played out, I'm not 100% sure that's going to be the case. Ball in, Christy calls for it early and deals with it early as well, as Leeds start a quick-fire counter with the energetic Charlie Allan. Waiting to try and find his spot. Probably wants to try and win another penalty appeal against the number 3. Third time lucky. Plays it against it. He's unlucky instead to only lose a bit of territory. But Bournemouth fighting hard again. The number 9 and number 10 up front have made life very awkward for Leeds' defence. But I'm quite excited, Ross, for this second half. We saw plenty of potential as the game wore on for Leeds. They've won a free kick in a good position. And your main, you kept saying it, belief. There is clearly, when Leeds got going, they were carving through Bournemouth. There was a lot of opportunity there. Yeah,
I think belief and energy will be the two big things that they spoke about at half-time. Looks as if they're shooting into where the Leeds fans are behind the goals as well, so that'll probably give them a little impetus as well. But yeah, nothing to be afraid of here. Just go and win the game. Easier said than done, granted, but yeah, just go and give it a good go.
Charlie Crew over the free kick. Allan normally takes Leeds' set pieces in these areas, so he goes across, has a word. Maybe he was looking at an angle. Just naturally looking at the Bournemouth wall, does look like it's a tough one to get up and over. But their tallest players in it, including the left back, Noah Boutin. Crew goes away from that though and tries to dig it out to Thomas. McFadden nearly finds the number 11 and behind and away for a throw. And then the Leeds fans behind the goal will now get Leeds to attack at them, which is always a helping hand. I know that firsthand when Leeds attack the Kop in the second half here. They'll be having that similar sort of pattern. Always good to attack the end where your passionate fan base are. As Chris Moore rolls it across towards Debayo. So Leeds trying to set the pace in the start of the second half. That slightest touch from McFadden's got Thomas away. The ball into the box. And Tydeman gets on it. Here is Sadi. And across now to Boutin. So Leeds starting with a bit of optimism in the first few touches. That could be ended here though by Bournemouth's number 10. Gets away out to Tydeman, but Dan Toulson quietly gone about his work actually in the first half. A couple of important touches. And his passing ability to just try and stretch the play helped lead his cause. Perkins is chasing a lost cause there. Thomas nipping in. As a number 9, he is more than happy to throw himself about, and you could probably hear Ross alongside me. That was close.
Close, yeah. That's one of them that we spoke about in the first half. Of the time it properly, Bournemouth will take a chance with them sort of passes inside. If they can nick it, then you know they're right at the defence.
Yeah, plenty of moisture on that pitch tonight. As I said it earlier, Ross, it's in great nick. Eastleigh FC's pitch, Silverlake Stadium.
I actually played there when I was down at Aldershot. Played against Eastleigh there, and to be fair, even back then it was a really good surface.
Yeah, it looks prime for two teams that wanted to play football. As the ball's in, challenge from Moore. He gets to the block in. Didn't know much about it. Here is Sadi again. Coleman went to ground. It's gone all the way through. Harry Christy was unsighted. Moore is unhappy. All of his defensive work is undone. And Dominic Sadi, the captain, we said it earlier, he is the danger man. And finally he proves it. 2-1. And the second half started similar to the first. 5 minutes in the second half for a goal. It took us 8 minutes in the first half.
I was going to say, if that's Chris Moore that gets this second block here when he's on the floor, it is as well. What a block. And just unlucky that the next phase of play is the goal.
Yeah, I did him a disservice. I said he didn't know much about it. He did. He actually, I thought he was just on the floor, but no, he still had the ability to get his legs up in the air. No wonder he was so frustrated it went in.
Yeah, I think he's got every right to be as well. I think the finishes sort of went in between both our centre halves there as well. So just to add to the disappointment for him there, but just get that out of our heads and go again. We've shown that we can come back already. But as we said he's the danger man. He looks a special young player.
Yeah, he's had that aura about him. He's captain as well. So naturally, that comes with responsibility. You've got to be able to lead, and without knowing too much about him, he clearly leads by his own playing ability. It's up to Leeds now to, as you say, Ross, just dust themselves off, regroup, and similar tactics to the first half. They'll get their chances. Just got to hope that Bournemouth dry up a little, because the Cherries had a few in the first half that went missing.
I think just get back to what we were doing the last 20 minutes of the first half. Look to get Allan and McFadden on the ball as soon as we can, and you get chances off the back of that. But again, like you said, in the first half, Bournemouth, they've started quick. Yeah,
it's again with Stuttle. They've got a hard-working forward line. They win the throw. Hasn't gone Leeds' way. A couple of occasions they've tried to do that tonight, where they've kicked it off the defender. Almost old school though, the number 9, the frame of him, and the same with the number 10. Tall, powerful, work hard, and it's a bit of a difference, because then you've got Sadi, who's a bit of a trickster coming off the back of that.
You don't see it much these days, do you? The little large sort of front two, Quinn and Phillips sort of partnership.
Yeah, it was. If they could have a career match that, they'd have a very good time, wouldn't they? As Tydeman takes the corner, as a Bournemouth player on the ground as Allan gets away, caught in traffic. Bournemouth will attack, and now it is into Stuttle. Coleman tries to get the block in, does. Another shot comes in, and it's wide off that post, and Christy can get across. Maybe wants to take a quick goal kick, decides against it. Only 7 minutes into the second half, and I guess it's annoying as a player as well, Ross, to almost feel like pretty much the same. It's like a repeat, isn't it? A mirror image of the first half. Started okay, conceded, works against you. How hard is it as a youngster to not be thinking about the fact it's a knockout tie? You don't have to. Another goal will get you a point. This is rather. Do you think they'll be trying to? Anxiety will creep in a little bit. Any panic a little?
Possibly. I think they might have. They probably spoke about every scenario, what could happen at half time, and this would have obviously been the one that they didn't want. But as I said before, the good thing is that they've already shown that they can sort of ride it out and grow into the second half as it the later it gets. But I think the most important thing here is they've got to make sure, as we said, Bournemouth have started quick. They've got to make sure that it only stays at 2 and they don't get the third. I think the next goal's crucial.
A big chance for Bournemouth here as Leeds' players are scrapping, digging in as Toulson gets that toe to the ball, needed to do so. And the youngster has slid in, took a decent chunk of that turf. Whatever Liam Ross was saying about the carpet-like surface has now been ruined by Toulson's challenge, but was necessary.
The kit man's having kittens there, isn't he?
We see as well, just the corner of my eye, I've seen Snowdon and Monteiro warming up. Snowdon in particular, whether it's just player preference, but he did seem to have the tracksuit off, which with the bib on top. And normally you look at that and perhaps suggest he could be coming on relatively soon, as Allan gets the ball from Perkins. Cline now on the attack, delays the pass, inside, a chance, dragged wide. Big opportunity for Leeds. Fans behind the goal applauding the work. I think it's Charlie Crew that's gone for it. It is. And a rarity, Cooper Cline's actually had the freedom to attack. Lung burst in effort, gets forward. Midfielder couldn't keep up. He's put it on the plate for Charlie Crew. It's just bobbled at an awkward moment.
Yeah, he's just dragged it a little. Similar to the first goal, actually. Allan's looking for that runner in behind. He gets it, he feeds him, and it's a ball cut across, which I think the young Charlie Crew will be a little bit probably a little bit disappointed in himself that he doesn't hit the target. It's not an easy chance, but it's a good sign. Like we spoke about, Leeds have showed it before that they can do it, so this might be the start of them proving that again.
Yeah, good support play as well from the midfield, with the first drinks break applied here, as there's perhaps a change needed, and we are about 35 minutes left plus that stoppage time, and focal points, you know, to try and build on. Allan, McFadden. Main one for me looking at is Perkins getting 2 in 2, and you're probably not the best person to ask, because when you played here, goal scoring droughts weren't that common, Ross. But as a striker, like how can you try and describe it to our listeners of what does it feel like to be on that drought? Is it, you know, for Perkins that's been out of the team, he's been away, maybe a lack of confidence. It seems like it's really weird for us as fans to watch and be like, you can't hit a barn door, people can't do this, people can't do that. And then when they get one, it's like, oh, you know, what is it like as a player, as a striker, to have that? Is it all in your head no matter what you do? It seems like a really weird process.
Yeah, it takes a not a special type of character, but a different type of character who can sort of block out the noise. I mean, the good thing that these younger boys will have in the reserves, in the 21s, 23s, 18s, is that it won't be circulated as much on social media, so you don't really feel that pressure from the outside. The only pressure that they'll have is probably pressure that the coaches and themselves are putting on themselves, really, which is a good thing, because you don't want these young lads to feel that kind of pressure. You want them to be free. That's how they can express themselves and sort of get to the best version of themselves that they can get to. But it's not an easy thing to overcome. But I think going by what happened on his loan spell, coming back, I think these 2 goals will be massive for him. Start to get that feeling again of, I'm the man here, I can do this, I can do that. And get that, as we've spoke about since the start of the show, it is all about belief, and the only way that he's going to get that back is by going back to basics and doing what he done prior to his loan spell.
Yeah, as you say, you make a great point, because there was a regular in the academy before going out on loan, so just had that lack of maybe match sharpness. A couple of games where he didn't really get opportunities, but last 2 games, especially the finish against Luton, rounding the goalkeeper, that's not a finish of a player that is lacking in ability or confidence. And then tonight just swept it home, as this delay in the game is continuing at the Silverlake Stadium. And Bournemouth's players shaking hands with the Leeds players as well. It is both sets of players just double checking, getting the fitness back on, as it's these moments where as players you've got to try and switch on. Leeds, as I guess, you know, conceding these goals here, both well taken finishes from Bournemouth, but your team talk wasn't that long ago. So, you know, is it your captain, is it your leaders? You don't necessarily have to come across to the sideline to get a coaching update, but these sometimes are game-changing moments happen when the game stops.
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple of the boys, the sort of leaders within the group here, who'll be getting, you know, a few of them together and speaking about certain things and trying to get them going again, because it's quite a long break actually.
Yeah, it's confusion, by the way, why we have this break. The referee is currently off the field, and both sets of players, I mean, it'll suit Bournemouth, the scoreline, but they were in a bit of a rhythm. It wasn't as if they were playing for, you know, the stoppage themselves, and it's worked them in their favour. They're a side that are flying with confidence. So if you just joined us here on LUTV, do in theory think it is a communication issue with the referee off the pitch, and now coming back onto the surface, but different referee. So I think we have a referee issue, whether it be an injury related. We do hope there is no problems there. So we are back, or ready to be back and away. So we got 3 minutes of stoppage time signal at the end of the first half that wasn't even played. I think it's pretty much guaranteed now. We are going to go into stoppage time towards the end. But you can see the look on the players' faces, utter confusion from everybody involved. Reminder of the Leeds bench: Baird, Monteiro, Richard, Snowdon and Chadwick. And big moment here for Leeds, just who's going to handle this break the better. We hope it is certainly Leeds that do just that, as Bournemouth, like they have done all night, playing out from the back, out towards Landa, that switch flanks for the time being. Crew just puts the arm across, not spotted though, so we'll get away with one out to Perkins. Defender just out-muscled him. Do you think Sonny Perkins maybe, as Thomas is played in, the goalkeeper give them an awful back pass Allan couldn't control. Clearly that centre-half feels that Leeds' attacker are no issue, because that was a risky pass indeed. Bournemouth were looking for a quick throw. It's not to be the case. And been quite impressed with their number 6 tonight. I thought Perkins was going to kick it away. Then he had maybe a change of heart that he could go behind. The defender didn't have a change of heart. He knew what he was doing right from the outset. And this is setting up to be quite an important 30 minutes. It's finely balanced, Ross.
Yeah, finely balanced for sure. I think that's a massive chance that the defenders took there.
Looping ball in. Cline took no chance. Knocked it behind. Harry Christy pats him on the back to say thank you. So rather than Bournemouth's hospital pass back to the goalkeeper, Cline does not do the same such thing to his goalkeeper. And we have a corner to defend.
It's actually a really good ball at the back post there, isn't it? I wonder if he was trying to chip the goalkeeper actually.
Yeah, tough technique to try and dig it out and not kick it out of play. Done well there, Tydeman. He's taking the set piece. Thankfully, his corner's not as good. First one tonight, really, that hasn't actually put Leeds into some form of defensive work. He has normally been spot on, but such is the way when you think you're going to put the pressure on. Got another throw. Maybe a sign that Bournemouth are just trying to see the game into their favour, just slowly taking the throw. In the first half, everything was quite quick. There's 2-1 advantage, why not? Landa got past Debayo, turns inside. The goal scorer of the first is stopped by Cline. Another set piece to come.
Well, a little bit of pressure coming here from Bournemouth, innit? They just need to see it through here, I think.
I've seen it in the first half that it has been very similar to the first 45. Leeds' best spell didn't come until 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, that could be down to a number of things, but looking at these boys here, every time I've watched them, they seem really fit individuals, and maybe just fitness takes over the last 15-20 minutes. Hopefully that's the case again. Yeah,
fingers crossed as Tydeman's ball in does force Leeds into some work. Thomas heads clear up towards Sadi's first touch. Wasn't intended, I think, to go near the touchline, but it got him out of trouble. And now back towards Boutin, who races across from the centre-half spot. Landa. Cline committed, recovered, and he's making Boutin work even harder as well. And it's been a good battle that tonight. Yeah. There's a lot of times Cline's been beaten and then raced back and won it back. It's been a good watch. In behind, Debayo's having to cover because Cline was out of position. He does that, no chance is taken again. Clearly feels that the touch could have come. And he's behind, still 2-1. It's still all Bournemouth.
That's that similar pass again to their first goal, isn't it? Just up the side of the centre half, just get them running back towards their own goals. Thankfully, it was a little bit overhit that time.
Yeah, Snowdon and Monteiro, said earlier, were warming up pretty vigorously. It looks like they're coming on, so change at centre half, perhaps, as ball is in. Moore gets a touch out to Allan. Ideally wants to dig it out down the line. Does that only for clearance out for a throw, but it's a territory finder. It eases the pain. And the set piece cleared relatively easily. As we have a change. That's McFadden coming off. That isn't for Monteiro, even though they've shaken hands first. So Debayo is off for Monteiro. That's a centre-half swap. And Joe Snowdon is on for Max McFadden. So pretty much like for like. You're about to tell me, but I'm only going off your first half comments. Disappointing McFadden's gone off a bit earlier. Wanted to see maybe get the chance to grow into the game again.
That's it. Well, that's what he done in the first half. Really, it took him 20-25 minutes to sort of get get into the game. But I think the coach sees these players every day, knows a lot better than us. So who are we to argue with that? I think possibly the centre half change is just a little bit wary of probably a second yellow card.
Yeah, certainly the case. So the only man that's on a card. So Snowdon's on as a 10. That could change, of course. He could go out wide. Allan could come in, but Snowdon has played 10 quite a lot for this group as Moore gets forward, takes it in his stride, rolls it into Snowdon. His first touch is an attacking one, out to Thomas. Thomas rolls inside, takes the shot, just drags it wide. And Luca Thomas has played a bit of a swagger out there tonight. He has often turned in another go on his weaker right side, and maybe you could tell that he just wasn't set fully, but that's the best real move Leeds have put together in the second half for a long while. Maybe even if not the best, Ross. Yeah,
I think the run on the inside there from Snowdon probably, took the defender's eyes, which allowed him to come inside onto his right foot. Decent attempt, but again, another good sign.
So replacing Ewan Pollock is Carlos Gregory in the number 15 shirt. So one of the best players in the first half for Bournemouth is off, and sometimes these changes are pre-planned. They want academy players to get some minutes. You never know what that will do to Bournemouth's team as Moore stands his ground. Both appeal for a free kick, and the Bournemouth player adjudged to have given it away. Chris Moore's done well.
You don't get a fair tussle these days, do you? It's as soon as anyone, no, nothing. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Obviously happy to accept the free kick, but it's just another instance where it doesn't take much for referees to give fouls these days, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't. Or the opposite side give blatant penalties, as we said earlier, as Moore has possession. So he's gone to left centre half the last couple of weeks. He's back there now, so it's pretty much as he knows it, alongside his regular partner in Monteiro. Leeds have a familiarity about this. Snowdon is into that midfield, more of a willing runner than a playmaker. Makes his work by running into the channels. Charlie Crew is the opposite. He makes the ball do the work with the array of passing. He nearly did it there. He wins his team a corner.
Yeah, that was a sharp one, do that. I like the look of that. Just unlucky there with the final pass, but
yeah, technique-wise, made it look ridiculously easy. And it is every inch of that had to be perfect. It was, apart from that second pass forward, which was going to reach Perkins. Bournemouth got there first. Crew wanted to take the delivery, and it is Luca Thomas causing a nuisance. The defender pushing into him. Goalkeeper try to get in front. Crew digs the ball out near post, scooped up in the air by Cline, flicks on the header. Keeper makes the save. Cline's had the back of the ankle trod on.
There's no point asking for any penalties or free kicks there, is there? It's just not going to happen.
No, I mean, it was scrappy, wasn't it? But it was nearly effective from Cline, and he's almost had that aura about him all night. He's just going to fight for everything, and quite unorthodox, but nearly worked.
I think when you've got that attitude and ability, you've got potential to go a long way, haven't you?
Yeah, he's got forward twice in the second half. He created a chance for Charlie Crew. Second time around, he went for the backwards header. Here is Christy now in goal towards Morse. Takes it in his stride again. Not for this time could he make much room, but not for the first time he attacks with a big first touch out from the back. Thomas delays the pass, gives himself more time. Up to Perkins, gets his feet in a tangle. Look at Thomas putting it into a good area for his strike partner. Really nice delay of the ball there, Ross. He let everyone for Bournemouth move past him, which gave him that little bit of space. Striker, reviewing striker, enough time for a touch?
I was going to say that, yeah. I think it was set up perfect to take a touch with his right foot there.
Yes, Coleman takes a couple of touches before setting his stride, gets a save. We're starting to see that pattern forming though. 3 or 4 efforts in a row now for Leeds.
That's it. If you look at the time again, it's 25 minutes into the half. I don't know if it is fitness or it's just a mental a mental belief thing from these boys. It takes them a little bit of time to believe that they are good enough to get something, but certainly looks like it's going that way.
Yeah, here's Snowdon, lays it into Perkins, not much room to manoeuvre. Leeds ran out of that. Thomas showing a bit of toughness to hold it up, but it just never seemed to settle for anybody for Leeds to strike it. I think if anybody could, it had to be Snowdon. But with a centre forward peeling away at an angle, he probably thought, I can't afford to shoot because I'll get an earful. And sadly for Leeds, it fell away as they come forward, Bournemouth on the attack. Leeds standing off time, and that's allowed him to spin away. Out towards Tonks. In behind, Leeds player goes to ground. Free kick given. Charlie Crew this time fouled.
I think the boys just have to be careful as well. It's not quite gung-ho time yet. Just need to be wary of keeping the back door closed, because Bournemouth have already showed in this game that they're more than capable of launching a quick attack.
Yeah, especially for someone like Moore, if he steps out of defence, there's got to be a cover. Normally you'd say it's Coleman. Perkins, that's a lot of Cline. He will get to it, near post. Thomas and Crew were the ones in there. Charlie Crew has been more than a willing runner second half to get into the box as nearly the first option.
Yeah, I think he's been released a little bit at half-time, hasn't he? Seems to be joining in the play a lot more this half.
Well, the number 5 lost him for a second. Recovered in the end, but box-to-box midfielder Charlie Crew is becoming this season. Set piece is his to take. Moore makes a late run. Allan try to block off it, so Moore gets a free header, which he does. And the reason his head is in his hands is because he feels he should do better.
He probably should there, actually, shouldn't he? It's a well-rehearsed corner. It looks as if there's a bit of blocking going on there to sort of free the back post area. Good delivery and, half a chance there.
Yeah, I think when you get the block and nothing is in your way for the header, for you then to head it wide is a frustration, which is why he was quite disappointed in himself on that occasion. As we see the ball played out towards near halfway. Moore jumping up, loses the flight of the ball. Crew wrestles it back for Leeds. Wants the 1-2 with Perkins, gets it. Allan, he's now trying to peel away and give himself some space. Can he get past Boutin? The ball comes across, deflected. It will be a corner. Perkins again in a decent area, and we're just starting to rack up these half chances. The goalkeeper, though, in Cam Playing has yet to make a decent save in this second half.
Yeah, but that's okay. That will, by the looks of it, that's going to come. That he's going to have to make a couple of saves, and I think that will probably coincide with these quicker attacks and getting that Allan on the ball again, which I think will be key going forward here for Leeds.
The ball in, under hit by Leeds, out towards Toulson, puts it back into a dangerous area. Monteiro ducking. Centre forward kicks it the wrong way. That was Johnny Stuttle.
I don't think Niall Quinn would have done that with you.
No, he certainly wouldn't. As Snowdon comes forward, Cline gets a ricochet. It falls to Thomas. Toulson, difficult. Keeper might have to deal with it. He can't. He just opened up his body a little bit too much. Did Dan Toulson. Shouldn't be too disappointed in himself. As we tick by into the vital stretch of this game, Bournemouth have worked so hard, both defensively and on the ball. Will they tire? Will they mentally switch off? Leeds will certainly hope so. Luca Thomas has quietly gone about his... I know Perkins has led the attack, but I just think the way Thomas is carrying himself, he seems to be really puffing out those shoulders. He seems to be relishing the fact that he might get the chance to score here. And it's like an 11, and then a hybrid 9 role he's playing. He's not actually sticking out wide anymore, is he?
Yeah, you find that a lot these days with the wingers. When teams play 4-2-3-1, as it is, the sort of wingers tend to come inside more and join in. So they're not really orthodox wingers these days, are they? Which will suit him, as we've seen, because he's been able to come inside and have a couple of shots.
Yeah, he played wide right for the majority of the start of the season. Inverted winger as a left footer. Scored a hat-trick on his 21s debut on the first day of the season away at Brighton. He's now played 11 the last couple of weeks on his stronger side, as here is
Landa in behind again to that left channel. It's just overrun for Boutin to not get to it. And Leeds will probably make a claim for quite a petty yellow card for time wasting, but just want to get on with things. Monteiro to Moore. Officially 15 minutes left with the stoppage time to come. Crew, first touch wasn't ideal. Still had the ability to get across. Perkins to Snowdon. As I said, he is a runner by nature. He will just put people on the back foot. He goes for goal. Decent connection. Got plenty behind. It skipped off the surface. The goalkeeper he's got his body behind the ball, but Joe Snowdon. Different types of midfielders, aren't there? The ones that pass the ball and get into space. He's the opposite. It wasn't a bad strike. I mean, there's plenty enough power behind the ball. Keeper could have spilled it on a different day.
Yeah, I think the situations like that are racking up now for Leeds, aren't they? I'm going to.
Must be 8 or 9 now in the last few minutes.
That's it. Yeah, I'm going to put my neck on the line here and say that if they get one, they'll get another.
Well, I hope you're right. I won't blame you if that doesn't happen, because Bournemouth have been very good, but I'm agreeing that the way this game is going, Bournemouth, I'm not saying they're tiring, but I think Leeds are starting to just start to win more of the second balls. Certainly in midfield, Bournemouth are not having as much joy at winning it high up the pitch, and possession-wise, it's certainly in Leeds' favour as Allan skips away inside to Toulson, another one that's tucking in to Crew, who's having even more of a say in this second half, to Thomas across the face looking for Perkins, and again another corner for Leeds. You can see the fans behind the goal. They're relishing the fact that this battle is certainly something that Leeds are taking to Bournemouth. Crew rolls it across midfield to Toulson, inside to Snowdon, turns away. If that leg had been stuck out a little longer,
it still wouldn't have been a penalty.
It still wouldn't have been a penalty, but we could have moaned some more. But Ross accurately took the punchline away from him, rightly so, because you've been more annoyed than me at that penalty. We've got another sub. Is Kean Tydeman being replaced by Charlie Osborne?
Saying that's a change of referee, so you never know.
No, yeah, that is true. This referee has not got in the way either. That was an accident, in fairness to the first official. This young man, number 7, dangerous sort of player. Did everything pretty well for the first half. Another change for Leeds. The number 15 of Joe Richards is on. A young fullback who has, again, just impressing the 18s. A couple of great FA Youth Cup performances. And he's come in a few times in the last few weeks and played at fullback. And now he does the exact same here, and replacing Toulson by the looks of things in a straight swap at left back. Adds a bit more pace to the Leeds wide areas. So off is Toulson, who did nothing wrong tonight out there as the number 3. Inverted fullback here with Richards trying to cause a bit of damage. Back to Allan. He swapped flanks to come and get possession. Cline is out on his own at right back. Gets it from Monteiro. Will he have a go at the number 3 Boutin? Decides against it. More so a runner in behind Cline. Bound to the ball, is going to take it away from him. Nothing wrong with the run or the pass. It was nearly going to work. He had to basically bring it down the first time around. It was a little bit behind him. Once it's hit the deck, we've said it all night, the pitch is in good condition. It was never stopping for him.
No, but I think it's been shown that pass there's on. Looks as if, if it's out in front of him, then he'll have a good chance of being straight through.
Yeah, he's got forward a few times, pardon me, second half, and nearly unlocked the door for. Well, he did unlock the door for Charlie Crew, who missed his header, his cutback header there from Moore. Nobody able to bring it down. Leeds went for the over the top through ball from Coleman. Here's Moore. Headers the first. Little layoff to Monteiro. Coleman takes that very well. Shields it, but then loses possession. And to Bournemouth's credit, they've worked hard. One back by Gregory. Out to Boutin. Sadi's lurking on the edge of the box. This is not where Leeds need him. Stopping it was Coleman. And he gets away from trouble. Gregory back to Boutin. Bournemouth's first time in possession for a while now. And they go across defence and just want a touch of the ball, Ross. And sometimes settles you down, doesn't it? And just to have possession, make sure that the team do not have it. Richards then gives it away, but you can clearly tell that Bournemouth, they don't want to see this game out defending, do they? If they can have take 3 minutes off the clock by just keeping it across the back four, that's great for them.
Yeah, I think the way it's gone the last 10-15 minutes, they were just, like you said there, just happy to get a touch of the ball, take the sting out this sort of Leeds, wave after wave of attack. But it didn't last too long for them, did it?
No, it did. Thomas to Richards, turns in, looks for a layoff to Thomas, goes for goal underneath the crossbar. No wonder he sticks the arms out. Beautiful finish from Luca Thomas. First time, picked that out. Bournemouth 2, Leeds United 2.
What a finish that was! Wow. Let's see if my prediction comes right here. I said if they get one, they'll get two. What a finish!
Different fullback as well. Dan Toulson just said he's played centre half, centre mid, left back. Richards as a fullback, he's a lot more attacking. He's been on 3 minutes. He's got an assist, and it's just that difference in styles. Dan Toulson did nothing wrong, but times of the essence. You've sent on a fullback. The message will be go and have a go. Yeah,
hopefully the mindset now doesn't change from the boys. Sometimes when you get back in the game, you get an equaliser, you can sort of take your foot off the gas and be happy with it. But I think it's there for them to go and get after them and go and get the win.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. And you'll be able to tell a lot from the body language, I guess, of Bournemouth's players. What do they think? Can they? Realistic, they should be thinking the same, such as the chances they've had, that they can do the same and go and get another. But if they start to play for defensive first situations, then maybe this is there for the taking for Leeds. Boutin wanted to come forward. Sadi was asking him to go back. He gets the ball in. Monteiro headers it away. Coleman and Cline sticking the leg out. Cline only clearing it as far as Gregory, who's just had to tick Bournemouth over a little bit more as a midfielder, playing a few more simpler passes. Luca Thomas getting a reward, really, Ross, for his hard work tonight. I think he deserved a goal. He whipped a couple past the near post in the first half. That one was well placed, let's put it that way.
Yeah, that one was left foot. It was I wasn't sure, because obviously camera's right behind it. I wasn't sure if it was going to dip in time, but it was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I had the same thought as Crew. Not on the same page as Allan. A risky pass that Northern Irishman did not read. Maybe Sadi, one of those players for Bournemouth, if they're to get another, midfield will play such an important part of it. Here's another one, Boutin. There's a few that have led throughout tonight for Bournemouth, never shied away. Harris to Holman. Tonks, missed pass. Moore having the shirt pulled, gets a free kick. He's played a big role in the second half. In theory, that should be a yellow card. Leeds not too bothered. It was a situation where Bournemouth were attacking, but just the way that Moore's defended Ross, he's high up the pitch, winning balls, carrying it out from the defence. It's not just the forwards in this second half. I think again Coleman's been a little bit awkward for Bournemouth. He's winning the odd touch here and there that sets them off their stride. I think the main thing to put across is that it's been a real momentum push from everybody to try and force this game back into Leeds' favour.
I think you're right in what you say. I think Chris Moore's second half's been a real... it's not even a captain's performance, really. It's just the way... I think a big part of his game and what he would like to sort of not even improve on going forward, but sort of enhance is the way that he can step in with the ball and, like you say, carry it. He's second half he's been phenomenal.
Again, Bournemouth go direct with that pass straight through the midfield, and this is another situation for Boutin. Goes across, big bobble. Number 9 wasn't getting there anyway. Richards covers. Leeds were stretched there for the first time in a good few minutes defensively. And it all came from that pass that beat the press. Referee gets out of the way. Gregory, it was a nutmeg. Gregory went for it. Leeds player fell for it. And this number 15 has just started to put the initiative back in Bournemouth's favour when they're in possession. Boutin gets across, digs out the ball. Richards misses it. Chance here for Landa. Cutback is on. Tonks deflected. Richards does well. Christy, every right to come across and applaud him. Corner to come. 4 minutes left.
I think it's getting to that stage where one goal is going to be probably enough for either team, I think.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth have actually responded quite well, haven't they, to the goal? Which I guess we shouldn't be surprised about. They've been impressive all night. As Charlie Osborne's taking this corner. He's missed the header. And Holman went for it. Landa back in. Monteiro and Gregory. Coleman to Snowdon. Counter-attack on for Leeds. Thomas gets it. Covering defender though. Thomas just tried to put it down the line. And the number 4 in Lewis Brown watches it all the way. Quick communication from Bournemouth to tell Boutin he had the space if he dummied it and carried forward. Gregory down the line. Cline unable to get to it. Boutin goes to ground, whether he's tired or he's pulled a muscle. We hope it's not the latter because he's been Bournemouth's most effective player alongside Dominic Sadi. He is holding the right groin though. Just relentless as a left back.
Yeah, he's up and down, isn't he? Must have.
He's not built like a footballer. He's stocky, powerful, and yet there's no drop off at all. Fair play. He's given the defenders a torrid night as Osborne's corner, poor. Perkins clears.
That's a few now for Bournemouth.
Yeah, last couple.
Yeah.
Last couple that have certainly worked in our favour. As back into the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Leeds set defensively with Richards, Moore, Monteiro and Cline. Couple of minutes left at the Silverlake Stadium as Crew gets it back from Kian Coleman's challenge. As Leeds just trying to, last couple of minutes, create a chance or two. We've got to switch on defensively once again as possession lost. Chris Moore and Monteiro defensive, the two that are back there for Leeds. And it is Monteiro being backed into by Stuttle. Gregory releases Brown. This will now release Tonks, and Bournemouth are able to build an attack of their own. The Cherries are continuing to come forward. Apologies for the pictures coming from the south coast tonight, which appear to have lost their bearings. As we get into the final business end of the match, you can just see Noah Boutin is still struggling. I think he has tweaked the groin, which, if this does go all the way, is... And I'd never want to see a player injured. That's not the way we want to do things. But if you're a Leeds player and he's starting to slow down, you're thinking, well,
it's a positive,
good. Yeah,
it's a positive. He's been that good tonight. Like you say, up and down. Engine on him, fantastic. It will be a positive for Leeds, but we don't want to see that. We want to see the best players stay on the pitch.
Yeah, we certainly do. As Dominic said, he has corner routine. Last couple have been poor. This one he digs out, forces something from Christy to Snowdon. Snowdon takes it away and flicks it down the line to Allan. Allan towards Perkins. It was just a little under hit. And that's why you see Charlie Allan skipping away on the left touchline. He knew and knows just how important that pass could have been. As Bournemouth can try and take the ball forward. Again, apologies for the pitcher struggling to keep up getting the service tonight from our hosts, who are clearly having a few issues in the last few stages. Ball in, headed away by Coleman. Leeds, it's just got away from the last couple of minutes, Ross. I thought you were pretty spot on with your prediction. At 81 minutes, we got an equaliser. The way that Leeds were playing, well, that it was going to be quite rampant, this, but sticky is probably a good way to describe this. Last few minutes of the second half, neither side have been able to get on top as we take a break from the coverage, sadly, because of the picture problems. But not the way you want to see the game finish. I guess you've got to praise Bournemouth for their response, as we still have a few struggling signal issues.
Yeah, I said that with when Leeds got the goal, hopefully there's not a mindset shift. Sometimes that can happen, and it might have been a little bit of both. Bournemouth coming back into the game and Leeds thinking that they've done their job and, you know, got the equaliser, but obviously it's still there for them to go on and win. But Bournemouth have reacted pretty well to it, as we see 10 minutes of...
Yeah, and I think it's more of a testament to them, isn't it, that they've managed to do that, as we see. You know, will that drop them a little bit? Seeing the 10 minutes of stoppage time, will that put them off ever so slightly? You never know. But we see games in similar instances. If you just joined us here on LUTV, Perkins and Thomas have got equalising goals for Leeds in this Premier League Cup round of 16 knockout tie. If nobody's going to get a winner in the next 9 or so minutes, we will be going to extra time and penalties. We do hope our picture provider is able to sharpen up those pictures as we get into that stage. As Bournemouth on the attack with Sadi. It's out towards Perkins. Potential counter-attack for him, but he overhits the pass to Thomas. And I think that's what I'm trying to say for Boutin. The quality's just dropped from 83 minutes onwards, but the desire hasn't. You're just lacking that finishing touch.
Yeah, that was a nervous wait there when the picture was frozen. Sadi had the shot.
Sadi again going for it. I mean, he's the main live wire on the picture of Bournemouth at the minute.
I thought he went to celebrate there and got a fright.
As we see the corner to come. Delivered for the Cherries, which cleared away. Leeds appealing, close call for Bournemouth, and the Cherries feeling they needed enough to win it. First couple of minutes of stoppage time. Player down with the physios coming across to have a look, but again, apologies for the loss of up-to-date action pictures, because there's pictures being provided by our host tonight at Bournemouth. And they're clearly having a few issues. Leeds are having a few issues creating chances in the last 5 minutes. But I guess, would you say from a coaching perspective, Ross, you would look at this and think it's still a good result? You've fallen behind twice. Yes, you've had a few chances and missed them, but it's still youth football, isn't it? You are learning a lot about your group as it goes.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, when it's a sort of a knockout competition, you don't know how people react to certain things, and that's why I go back to what I said about the mindset shift. Is, you know, sometimes when you're pressing and pressing and pressing to get back into a game in the league and you get an equaliser, you can take, you know, 2 or 3 minutes sort of off the foot off the gas for 2 or 3 minutes, but they'll learn from this, because let me tell you, if something like this ever happens again for the boys, they'll know to keep their foot down in the pedal and go and try and get it done and not have to go to extra. Hopefully they don't have to go to extra time still, but they'll feel as if probably there was a big chance missed to get it done in normal time.
Yeah, and I guess as well from a forward perspective, you know, you're always going to think like that, aren't you, as well? You know, if you're Perkins, Allan, Thomas, the way they've played tonight, they'll be stood there thinking, we can go win this. If you get us the ball, we can do something about this.
Yeah.
So it's frustrated in that part as well. Bournemouth player is off. It looked like it was the number 5, Jack Holman, that went to ground early. He got back up for the corner, and Holman is the one that's limping off the pitch. He's not doing very well for himself, bless him. Howard William works himself very hard, but you could see the way he's walking off. That is an injury he just can't continue with, especially where we're potentially looking at a extra time and penalties the evening. Free kick to Leeds, won by Thomas. And we hope to have the picture issue sorted soon for you. Again, a reminder coming from our host tonight, which had a few issues where Leeds can hopefully attack, and it'd be ideal if we can have one or two final chances for them with Thomas in possession. Back it goes to Monteiro. Now Christy to Moore. Richards at left back has been an energetic addition to the proceedings as Leeds win a throw. It's someone like Richards that might have a big say in extra time.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of the boys will be thinking, you know, one chance and he can be a hero here, so hopefully that chance comes.
Leeds on the other side with Cline. Out towards the right-hand side. Again, apologies for the drop in quality of the pitches. We do hope to have that sorted for you as close to the full-time whistle as possible. So, Leeds last few minutes looking for a winner. Free kick to Leeds. Last few minutes of a struggling 10 or 15. 2-2 here on LUTV. And Chris Moore goes back into Harry Christie. You can tell by that free kick, no real effort for either side to go out there and take the game to each other. I think if an opportunity presents itself, they'll certainly look to do it, but defensive first mindset, don't give anything away to each other. I guess that's pretty sensible, Ross, with a couple of minutes left as we hopefully have the picture issue sorted. You don't want to be making a pass you don't need to make, but we hope here with Moore getting Allan on the front foot. Allan gets away. No free kick given. Allan opportunity to cut it back to Perkins. Perkins goes for goal. Keeper saves. Huge moment in this match. After nearly 10 minutes of nothing happening, Cam Plain has stopped an opportunity for Leeds to score as the free kick is given. And I think you said it earlier, that ball into the far corner has been on. It hasn't worked every time. It nearly did. Whether it's Plain or the defender in William that's got the last touch, I don't know. But whoever it is has stopped a certain goal.
Yeah, it looked at, didn't it? I think it was the defender that blocked it, not the goalkeeper as well. But I'm hoping that that's not the one that we say, oh, that was the chance. Hopefully, you know, there's time to get another one. But like you said, that sort of long searching ball into that channel there has been on in the second half. We've just not found it enough.
Over the top pass for Bournemouth, headed away by Cline. Crew. Painful one as he tries to get the ball back. Stands his ground. Coleman does the same. Out to Allan. Down the line for Perkins, who nearly had the beating of the defender. Awkward for the goalkeeper to deal with, but he deals with it very well, in fairness to him. Towards Perkins. First touch, took it away. Second might not need it. Sonny Perkins wins the game for Leeds United. Through ball. A ricochet falls in his feet, and the number 9
has 2 on the night, 3 in 2, and that is a finish of an accomplished striker. Far corner, keeper committed. What a way to win the match, surely, for Leeds United. 3-2. Penalties and extra time beckoning. We might not need it. What a goal, Ross.
What a goal. Gets quite lucky there. It bobbles back to him, but once it comes back to him, what a finish that is again. Tops off, 3-2. Surely, I don't want to tempt fate, but there can't be much time left here.
Yeah, such a good finish. You say, little bit of fortune. All good strikers need that, don't they, sometimes?
Yeah. And as I say, I think, he's worked hard up there. Probably deserves a little bit of luck. I think Bournemouth players and fans alike will probably be saying he doesn't deserve that amount of luck, but we'll take it. As I say, what a finish it was. 2 great finishes, left and right foot.
Yeah, he's looked to be back to his old self under Perkins. Great to see. Really happy for him.
I think Bournemouth have brought the rugby team on here for the left-hand side, haven't they?
Yeah, I called it earlier about rugby union technique. This is American football, rugby union. I think we know what's coming. It's going to be a long ball played forward. The referee's coming across to, I think he's booking the coach, Allan Connell of Bournemouth, who has clearly spoken out of turn. So it just stops things. Leeds. I saw Harry Christy race forward, Ross, to tell one of the defenders switch on. It's all right celebrating the goal, but you've got to get ready. I think Luca Thomas has been told just go back and defend. And this is a rather interesting technique. How long we'll have left for them to do it, we'll have to find out. The goalkeeper decides against it, which is a risky ploy to make. Now he'll finally play it towards it. Leeds have maybe got the beating of them. Cline gets up, Boutin on one leg pretty much, thumps it up into the air. Christy was thinking about coming. Luca Thomas gets back, clears it away. Referee looks across at his watch, and Camplain puts it back across into a dangerous. Allan heads it in towards Perkins. Perkins and Thomas both thought they were going for the same pass. Thomas takes it away. He's just trying to slow the game down. He's just trying to get out of the way of Gregory.
How long is he playing here?
Well, the referee keeps looking at the watch, keeps listening to the headset. Tonks. Richards committed himself. All hands on deck for Leeds United as Gregory gets away. Free cross, dangerous from Leeds. Monteiro comes across. Allan gets a leg to the ball. And still the referee yet to blow up for full time. Perkins' left-footed finish into the far corner may well have won the game for Leeds. Header up in the air. Monteiro's under pressure. Striker just try to unsettle him. Luca Thomas to smash it downfield. Bournemouth will get another go into the 103rd minute of stoppage time. Boutin, looping ball to the far post. Richards lets it bounce. It won't go. Richards will have to clear, but he runs it into the defender. Gregory comes across, strong challenge. They're both appealing. Leeds United concede for a corner.
Usually you get, 30 seconds if someone scores, but not nearly 3.5 minutes.
I mean, I know we had a few minutes of... I know we had a bit of delays in stoppage time, but into 4? I mean,
I don't see it myself. I don't know where it came from. Maybe they're adding on the stoppage time that should have played in the first half, maybe.
Yeah.
But even then...
Here is Dominic Sadi. Maybe for Leeds, one final clearance will do it. Sadi's ball in high, hanging, keepers up for it, header over the top. That is a big chance for Bournemouth that goes begging. Camplain was left unmarked, and Harry Christy will be in no rush. And for keeper scores, you're always delighted if you're on the right team. That would have been a horror minute for Leeds, as we hope this is the goal kick that ends proceedings.
It's amazing how many times that goalkeepers come forward for set pieces and actually get the first or second contact on it, isn't it? It's like it's just absolute chaos when they come up. No one knows who's going to pick them up, but surely.
We hope so. Christie's orchestrating where he wants everybody to stand for this goal kick. Christie goes long, up towards Perkins. Still not enough as Monteiro gets hold. He heads the ball away. It will be a Bournemouth throw. He's just trying to slow proceedings down, and again, just unsettled. Bournemouth referee comes across. He will add more time by wanting to speak to them both. I mean, they were both doing the same thing. Monteiro gets a card for it. I guess he was trying to slow the play down. I understand that, but
keeps fixing his earpiece, the referee, as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe there is a communication issue still again as a shot comes in. Christy, what a save, comes across, it's into the side netting. Leeds United have their goalkeeper to thank, and their opposite number in net. He's on his knees in frustration as Harry Christy comes across. They're celebrating because that save has won them the match. Perkins' goal, but last-ditch effort comes in. It comes through a crowd of bodies and into the side netting, and that is a tense way to win a football match.
It's absolutely incredible. We're sitting here saying there's 20 seconds to go, Leeds score, you know, can't be much time left. They should not be having to rely on the goalkeeper 4.5 minutes over the added. I've seen 30 seconds, 45 seconds, but 4.5 minutes?
Crazy. But the full-time score, 2-3, and a really positive night for the academy again, Ross.
Well, and on a personal note, my prediction was right. They get 1, they'll get 2.
They did. You can come again with those predictions. Thank you so much again to Ross McCormack for joining us this evening. No need for the extra time and penalties. Leeds United progress in the Premier League Cup. They're into the quarter-finals thanks to goals from Thomas and a brace from Sonny Perkins.